Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Wanted to do a good review on the German sports guns STG-44. So I kind of waited until right now I have almost 1,000 rounds through this rifle. So now I can give an accurate description on this rifle and kind of tell you, some of the things it likes, some things it doesn't like, how well it functions. Because, upon purchasing this rifle, it was really an impulse buy for me. I figured, something like this is really like a novelty type gun, but I mean, it is fully functionable. When I first purchased this gun, I was thinking, it's probably only going to work with mini mags or some good quality match ammunition, but that's really not the case. I've put almost 1,000 rounds to this rifle. And I put most of those were, cheap bulk pack ammunition, and it was functioning just fine. In fact, the only few issues I was having out of this gun was magazine related. And as you can see, I did mark the magazine so that I will not use it again. In fact, I did contact ATI, and they are supposed to be sending me out a new magazine. I told them I had one that was just kind of defective, didn't want to work right, and they're supposed to be sending me out a new one free, which is awesome. But it has been 2 weeks yet, and I still have not received it, so I'm kind of thinking the guy in the email might have lied to me, but I guess we will see. I do have 4 magazines. It does come with just one magazine. These magazines can be pricey. Like Academy Sports has these listed for $54. Gun Mag Warehouse had them for $20. So you can pay anywhere from about $20 to $54 for these magazines. They're not really that cheap, but they are good. They are plastic, but they're good quality. They're solid. However, they are kind of finicky. German sports guns, to me, they make some, in my opinion, they make quality firearms, but they just do not do that good on their magazines. Some of the same issues I have with these magazines is like the same thing I'm having out of their 110 round drum magazine for the Ruger 1022. Some of the same issues. And that's another thing too, that they make this nice rifle, and virtually there's like no plastic on this rifle at all. Everything is metal except for a little plastic spacer that's inside the rifle. But other than that, I believe everything is metal. So I don't understand why they would want to make sure it's like all metal, but then have plastic magazines. I think they should at least offer metal magazines, or at least a cover or something that would just, in my opinion, really, add on to the firearm. But I got my manual here, and this was a 100ths gun. I'm not sure if this is the 100ths one they made or not. The making date for this one was, I believe it was 8/13/2013. So this was made like right when they came out. So this might be the 100ths one. I'm not exactly sure on that. And that's what it kind of came with there. Maybe somebody knows more about that than I do and can comment below. But of course, this is chambered in .22 long rifle. And I have noticed this gun does not like standard velocity at all. It pretty much has to have high velocity ammunition to function, but it seems to really love hyper velocity ammunition, and that's what I really like shooting. And so, that's a perfect match for me. But the overall length is 37.3 inches. The overall height is 8.7 inches. The width is 2.2 inches. The barrel length is 16.3 inch. The rifling length is 15.9 inch. It has 6 grooves in the rifling. The weight without the magazine is 9.15 pounds. The weight of the magazine is 0.57 pounds. So with a fully loaded magazine in this gun, it's barely under 10 pounds. The trigger pull is the same. It's approximately 6 pounds. And they do make 25, 15, 10, and 2 round magazines for this gun. But it does say the trigger pull is at 6 pounds. But something I didn't know until I'd actually broke out the manual and started reading it is you can actually adjust the trigger weight of this gun. And I believe I took it from the 6 pounds that it comes in to about a 3.5 pound, maybe even a shorter pull. But kind of show you the specs there, where it tells you about everything, little diagram telling you the length of everything. And this is where it's telling you can adjusting the trigger weight with the set screw. It comes with a little set screw, but it does not mention it does not mention how low you can take that trigger pull down to. But I'm pretty sure I got it down to at least a 3 pound trigger pull. Like, it is very nice. It is a really long trigger. And, 22 long rifle does not really have, like much kick or movement as you are shooting. But, I mean, like a 10-22 or a Marlin or something like that, you do have a little bit of movement as you are shooting. But where this rifle, is 10 pounds with the fully loaded mag, I mean, it's just like a solid piece right there. So there's really no movement in the gun at all. And I really think that does help contribute at least a little bit to the accuracy, because this gun was very accurate. I mean, even me, kind of move these magazines here. Like, I'm not really used to, I know these are almost like standard AK sights, except for where you do all the adjustments right here. Instead of adjusting it for windage up here, you would do that here, elevation and windage. A little bit different than what I'm used to, and I did kind of give up. I got it just about on sight, but it was coming in about 2 inches under from where I was aiming, so I just kind of gave up with the sights and was just kind of compensating for that. But I did that very well. I was shooting very accurate with this, with some hyper velocity ammunition, out to 100 yards with these standard iron sights. You can get a scope or a red dot mount. There's a screw right here, and then this will just slide right off, and then you can slide your scope mount right on here, and then it screws in place. I've seen those online from anywhere from about $10, $12 up to about $25, $30. Just really depends on where you buy it from. But I do believe I will get a little scope mount for this. It does have the sight radius is, I believe it's about 15, a little over 15 inches. So it does have, decent sights on the gun. I did get a sling for this gun. Where this particular model, as you can kind of see here, it's made to look old, and I did have a nice reproduction Mauser 98K sling, but that nice new sling on this old looking gun just didn't do it for me. So I did get an original sling here, as you can see. This is not an original like Mauser sling or anything. This is actually a Yugoslavian M48 sling, which is pretty much their copy of the Mauser K98, but it did not come out until I believe like 1948. But this is still an overall a very good sling. The difference is right here, the original Mauser sling would have like a little clamp that the thing would go through to lock it in place, but this one just has a little brass pin right there. That's about the only difference. Other than that, it's real leather, real nice. I really do like this sling. It does have a stainless steel barrel, as you can kind of see right there. And this right here is just a sleeve that kind of goes over it. And it does not have a threaded barrel. This is just for looks, but of course, you know, the original, this would screw off, and they did have attachments that so you could shoot around corners and stuff like that. Of course, you know, the original, this is where you would adjust your gas port, but on this one, it is just for looks. As far as like this being like it's pretty much an exact copy on the outside of the original STG-44. But however, you know, the caliber and all the insides are not correct. But, you know, it has the looks. In fact, the second time, I've only took this to the range 3 times so far. But the second time I did take it to the range, you know, I had somebody come up to me thinking this was an original. So, I mean, the look is there. Nice, real wood furniture, real wood buttstock there, real wood on the grips. I'm not exactly sure what type of wood that is, but it seems to be decent quality. It's a lot better quality than the wood that came on the Raz 47, that's for sure. Does have a little cleaning kit type hole here like you would see on the AK. The AK cleaning kit will fit in here, but of course you could not use that on this. I would have liked to have seen German sports guns come out with a little cleaning kit to put in here, but I have not seen that from them yet. You know, they do make the MP40 copy as well, and that one is in 9mm. I really wish they would have made this in 9mm. I think that would have been a lot better than 22 long rifle personally. But you know, this is kind of how it looks here with the magazine. Of course, you know, I did check the gun is, see, sometimes, there it goes, sometimes it'll pop up, sometimes it won't. Gun is unloaded. Now, like I was saying, last time I went to the range, you know, I always usually start off with like mini mags just to make sure the gun's working. Then I moved into other types of ammunition. Like I was shooting the Fed Reds, the big 500 round value pack was working great through this gun. I was shooting some Winchester Super X. You know, that worked good through this gun. You know, I was shooting some Aguila Hyper Velocity. That was shooting great. I even shot some of the Remington Vipers, which are kind of hard to find. The little triconed bullets. That was working great through this gun. I did shoot some Federal Champion 22. That worked good. I was just trying all kinds of really different ammunition that I do have. I did not try the Thunderbolts or anything yet. I will probably try that next time I go to the range just to see if it really will function with the really good cheap stuff. But it did work with Blazer 22. But Blazer 22 is in my opinion, that's a really good ammunition. Like a lead mini mag almost. Alright, here, let me show you how to take this thing down here. All you got to do, here's the buttstock here. And I did get this in the original wood crate, which I almost regret selling the crate now. After looking around a little bit, finding these in the crate nowadays is pretty hard to do. And I noticed a lot of people even want to buy the crate. I've seen them listed on Gunbroker for $100 with $50 shipping, and I believe they were like all sold out. So I mean, I sold mine for around 80-90 bucks, but you know, I wish I would have kept it now. I didn't realize how, you know, not necessarily how valuable it was, but kind of rare. But all right, let me show you how to break it down here. You just have a single pin. Like this is, I seen this at the gun club. We have a I forget the exact name of it, but it's a H&K 308 caliber rifle, and it has like the same type buttstock as this, but that one has 2 pins to hold it down instead of just one. But just kind of push that in and pull it out. If I can get it, kind of see how that works. You just pull that up to push it out. That kind of locks it in place there. I believe that's just like the original. Then you just pull off your buttstock here. You can, you know, kind of see it there. Real nice buttstock. I really do love that. See it there attached to the sling. you can tell it's not an original German sling, but I'd say this sling is probably from the 60s or something like that, and it's got the original look though, which is why I wanted it. An original Mauser K98 sling will probably run you a minimum of $70 on up to a couple $100, just depending on condition. But to really take, so you could really shoot this without the buttstock, but you would have to be careful because this, all you got to do is that, and the whole thing will come out. So you could, in theory, put that pin in and shoot it, you know, just like this. It'll take some weight off. I might try that next time I go to the range just to see. But to take it apart here, so all you got to do, you got this little part here, that first that comes out. I don't think this is aluminum, maybe some type of like pot metal. This is metal, but it does have a slight wiggle, which is probably not supposed to be there. And it's got the little spring there. Then you pull out your top spring here for your charging handle. And this is how you take it down for cleaning or anything like that. Then this is the plastic piece I was telling you about. This is just like a little spacer in there. I have not cleaned this. That's something, you know, I wanted to show in this review. I put almost 500 rounds to this gun when last time I took it to the range. So I kind of wanted to show you what it's going to look like after you shoot quite a few rounds through it. And then right here is the bolt, if I can get it out. And this bolt really reminds me of the bolt that, you know, would go in like an AR-22 conversion, or like the one that's in the M&P 22. You know, like I said, it is dirty, but to have about 500 rounds of cheap bulk pack ammunition through it, it's not too bad. I did use grease to lube this instead of oil, and it's not too bad. However, you kind of can't tell right now, but that little spot right there, that was rusted when I first got the gun and took it out cleaning. Not exactly sure what's going on there. And it kind of two-toned right here. Not exactly sure about that either. I can already see some wear here. That's about all the wear that I can see so far. I could probably see more after I do clean it. One thing I did want to mention too is when I first, you know, took it apart to clean it before I even shot it or anything, all of these ends and stuff on here is just like really sharp, but I can already tell that it's calmed down some from shooting. So the more I shoot it, the more, you know, it'll probably smooth itself out. But all the edges were just like really sharp, and that's something I didn't necessarily like about it. You can see the front of the bolt there. I believe that's not sure if this is plastic right here or not. Try to stick a magnet to it. Yep. I believe this is plastic right here as well. But so far so good. They are serialized with your gun, so I do not think that you will be able to get you know, a replacement bolt unless you probably send your whole gun in. But I don't even know how you would try to find like a firing pin or anything for this. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's one thing about 22s, you know, after probably a few thousand rounds, that's going to need to be replaced. Kind of wipe my hands a little bit here real quick. I should have had a rag ready. Alright, let me show you the inside here. See, this is kind of how it's a pain to clean. You got to get down in there, and you got limited room to get in there. You know, to just stick your bore snake or whatever in there is a little bit of a pain, but it's doable. You can kind of see the trigger group and stuff here. Like, it is pretty dirty and grimy in there. That was about 500 rounds. Right in between there is where I changed the weight of the trigger pull. You can take this whole bottom trigger housing out, but there's really no need to do that. But this thing really does, it's filthy in there from them 500 rounds. It's going to need a good cleaning, that's for sure. So there's kind of how you disassemble it. I'll show you. Put everything back. Of course, you know, you start with your bolt. slide this into place. It's got grooves right here for you to slide it in if I can get it. And having a little bit of some trouble. It's probably, of course, you know, it's my fault. It's got lines right there, but it's not wanting to go in. I can see some wear already. There we go, slid right in. And, you know, like I said, all those edges on that bolt are pretty sharp. And I think that's why you have a little bit of a problem there. Then you slide your spacer in. Then what I like to do is go ahead and put your spring in on this. And this just slides right in the top, just like that. Make sure it goes over, and it did. And there it is, put back together. Test for function. Seems to be working just fine. So there's kind of how you take it apart for cleaning and then putting it back together. Like I said, it is a little bit of a pain to clean, just because of how how you take it apart and everything. But ultimately, it's not too bad. When you do first buy the gun, it does come with the buttstock off inside the crate, or if you can find them in the crate anymore. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to do a good review here on the German sports guns STG-44. Like I said, it is kind of a novelty type gun, but I mean, it works, it functions, it works great even with the cheaper type ammo. Very accurate. It is heavy at the 10 pounds. You know, after a while of shooting, you know, you get tired of holding it. But overall, not too bad. I'm glad I was able to add it into my collection. Been thinking about buying the M&P 40 and the 9mm. Again, kind of a novelty type gun, but something very fun to shoot and everything like that. I do have other gun reviews coming up here soon. You know, please check out some of my other videos. You know, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please, you know, think about subscribing. And, you know, I hope everyone is doing good and has a good day. And I'll talk to you guys later.